Have you ever been going down the road and got bored? You just been listening to a lot of music and music just starts getting a little boring after a while after you've been driving for so long? Or are you the type of driver that sits there and watches YouTube or TikTok or other social media videos while driving? Which isn't really a good idea anyways, right? Well, welcome to the Trucker Icebox podcast. I'm your host, Trucker Icebox, and I am doing this audio only, so you can listen to it while you drive and not get in trouble. Because why? Because you could actually get in trouble for watching movies going down the road, believe it or not. It's a pretty good hefty ticket on that, and, I'm not sure, I don't know if that would fall under the cell phone $10,000 fine thing or whatever it is, or if it just be a distraction. I'm not sure how they would count that, but I know it's probably not good. It is definitely not good, and we definitely don't make enough money out here, to be getting no tickets, right? So, I decided to do this and, um, get some content going. I'm actually recording while I'm driving. I'm doing audio only and hands free, by the way, if you were wondering. But I wanted to do some content, while I'm on the road as well, and give you guys something to listen to while you're on the road. So hopefully you enjoy this, and we're gonna kick this thing off. All right. Now, if you're not a truck driver, you're more than welcome to listen. I encourage you to listen. But mostly what I'll be talking about is trucker related topics. If you're interested in that kind of thing, I know I watch and listen to a lot of military, channels out there, and I'm not in the military. So, everybody has their thing, but I am focused on the truck drivers. This is going to be a trucking podcast, and that's kind of what we're going to go over. Eventually, I will probably do live streams and everything, but I figured I would start doing something like this. Like I said, I'm trying to give myself something to do myself while I'm driving, and I thought this would be a good way to do it. And but I do plan on doing some live stream stuff at some point, in the future. But here we are. So if you, have never heard of me before and you're just now watching, considering this, or I'm sorry, listening, and, I'm so used to doing videos. But if you're listening for the first time and you've never heard of me, I'm Trucker Icebox. I've been, in the industry for 20 years as an over the road truck driver. I did a small little stint here and there as a local driver, or regional and whatnot. But most of my career, I have been, over the road, and I have been to the 48 states in the United States. I've got somewhere over 1 million miles. I kind of stopped keeping track, but I've definitely went and surpassed that 1 million mile threshold. And, there's always stuff to talk about. I got a lot of stories. So this is probably gonna be like a big series, or a long-term thing, because there's always stuff to talk about, and I've got lots of stories from the past and lots of experiences and different things that I could talk about on here. But if you have something yourself that you'd like to ask a question about, or if you're a driver and want something talked about, or you have a story, definitely reach out to me at truckericebox.com. You can send me a message. You can, send all kinds of stuff on there. It's at the bottom of the page. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. And, I have sent out a couple of postcards, but if you'd like a postcard from me, then, you can also reach out to me on either social, or you can also go to that truckericebox.com and just tell me you want a postcard, and I'll reach back out to you and let you know how we could do that. But, one thing I'd really like to go over today to kind of kick things off is, the fact that trucking right now is kind of in a downturn. And it was just talked about recently across different platforms on how there's actually a negative amount of truck drivers entering the industry right now. So we're actually, I think, about 900 drivers short right now at the current moment because of all the companies closing and going out of business. It's kind of a weird time in truck driving, probably for a lot of y'all. Some of you guys that have been out here a long time, like the OGs, y'all have already been through this, once or twice before. But if you're new to the industry, we're actually, already in a freight recession, which I've, talked about in the past as a good indication of how the, future, actual market is gonna go, because we can actually base the U.S. economy off of, how well freight is doing. You can actually base it off of how much diesel usage is used in the United States, because by doing that, you can predict the stock market. Because what do truck drivers do? We move the actual physical stuff of, like, the stock market. We move America. So, with that said, there have been a lot of trucking companies that have closed. There for a little while, I was getting notifications about, at least a trucking company going out of business, at least, 3, 4 times a week. I think there was even a point, there was like a week or two where there was a trucking company going out of business every day. And we just lost, Carol Fulner, and, I might have said that wrong. But they've been in the industry for years. They were in the industry back when, Jimmy Hoffa was around. So, yeah, they've been losing a lot of big ones and a lot of small ones. There was a lot of companies that came in during, COVID, that, kind of sprung up, or if they didn't spring up, they, were companies that were smaller companies that started off before COVID and grew tremendously during COVID, the COVID years. And, they're hurting right now. And, it's a really big deal in trucking because, it's affecting us drivers out there because, we're seeing it on our paychecks. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's seeing it. I mean, if you're in some specialty or something like that, obviously you're not going to be really impacted. But, flatbed, general freight, even reefers have been seeing it. Um, I can't really speak for, some of the overdimensional stuff or car haulers, but I know the car market's been in a downturn, but car freight might actually be doing pretty good because they're moving stuff around to, sell off. So, I'm not saying that everybody in trucking, every truck driver out there is having a hard time, but there's a lot of truck drivers right now that are just making the bare minimum. So, or anything at all. And there's been a lot of truck drivers that got laid off. So, if you are new to the industry, um, we went through this back in 2008. And, what we're going through right now is pretty similar to that. I think we're actually still doing better than 2008. But not by much. Not by much. And if you are doing good right now, be very thankful for that, because there are so many that aren't. And if you aren't doing very well right now, make sure to leave a comment, because I know a lot of these guys are going to come in here. The ones that are doing good right now, they're going to be talking about it. And if you're not doing good, let everybody know. We need to talk about it. And, we should actually still be getting compensated. If your company is one of these companies that does not pay you when you don't have a load, then you're really hurting. thankfully I work for a place, a good place that, they actually pay you for your downtime. So if you sit, and it's still not the same, obviously, they're not going to pay you the same as what you make if you're going down the road, but it does help a little bit. But, you know, it's a rough time right now, and we need to all support each other with this because it's going to get tougher, and we need to be vocal about things. I don't know what we could actually do about it because it's just what it is. We're hitting a wall right now. That I don't think America's really ready for. I have said that if we don't completely like wreck and go into a depression, it's going to be because Trump actually keeps us out of it, but that's still to be determined. But, I'm hoping, hopefully, hopefully we can, bounce back and, hopefully by then, I personally think my prediction is if Trump pulls through, we should start seeing a bigger freight increase, sometime around, February, March, like pretty much after the first quarter of next year. Because, I think that's when, um, a lot of stuff is going to happen. I think this Christmas is going to be hard on everybody, whether you're a truck driver or not a truck driver. I think that's when it's really going to hit everybody. You got people out there right now, that, and unfortunately, not even talking about truck drivers, just talking about everyday people that are actually sitting there financing their groceries. And they've been doing this since, like last year, maybe before then. I'm not exactly sure. I started hearing about people doing it last year, and it's bad because like at some point, that little crutch of financing your groceries just to get by to the next paycheck is going to catch up to some people at some time. And that's not good. It's not good. It's not good for anybody. And, you might be doing it as a truck driver yourself right now. But what happened during COVID, when they brought on, well, I shouldn't say brought on, but there was a huge increase in, drivers. You know, there was a lot of drivers that didn't want to be on the road, a lot of people that didn't want to be on the road. And if you were one of the drivers that was out here during COVID, when it was during the pandemic, when everybody was scared and you were still out here and you were hauling, like big salute to you. I will always salute you guys. Like we don't get like I was out here too, obviously, but I still salute you guys. A lot of respect because, you know, we don't get the appreciation anymore like we did during COVID. You know, like it would be a such a better job if we got treated like that. We used to pull in the scales during COVID, and instead of giving you tickets, they gave you brisket. They were giving you gifts at the scale houses. And it was great. It was such a good time. It was bad because a lot of people died. But if you were in the trucking industry, oh man, it was amazing. But I think I'm going to talk about COVID and the pandemic another time. But, the thing is we had a big influx of drivers that hired on because it was paying so well. And we've just slowly been, you know, declining ever since the pandemic was over and during the Sleepy Joe years. So what's happening now is we're going into that uh negative driver count, right? So So there's actually not a need for truck drivers right now. There's actually too many truck drivers right now. So the problem with that is because all these companies closing, um, it's going to be really hard for them to find jobs. And if you watch social media, you probably notice that a lot of people, a lot of truck drivers are doing videos about how, oh, hey, I gave up on trucking, or, um, I'm only making $600 a week and I just got a local job, or I got a different job and all that. You're hearing a lot of that right now because of how bad it is. So like I said before, if you're doing good, then that's great. I'm not talking about you, and I hope you keep doing good. But there's a lot of guys in trucking right now that are suffering. A lot of gals. And when I say guys, I mean everybody, but, so my bad on that if you're wanting, but it is what it is. But anyways, so I mean everybody, but everybody's having a hard time right now. And, the issue with this is, the world and especially America, the United States still has not learned, like, everyday people, okay? I know I'm going kind of back and forth on talking about truckers and everyday people, but like when it comes to the economy, there's the trucking aspect of it that I want to talk about, but then there's the impact that everyday people make on trucking, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. So, like, the problem is everybody in the United States still has not learned from 2008 and the recession that we had in 2008. 2008 was pretty much there because people lived above their means. They put, luxury items, over necessities. And that's like a big thing right now. And you see right now, if you're in construction, or if you're in trucking, yeah, if you're a truck driver, you deliver construction sites, especially for homes and stuff, or, warehouses or businesses, anything that's getting built right now is big. It's all big, nothing small. Um, there's businesses in the regular market that are going under right now, where there's no need for warehousing because we're not moving anything, but they're building all these warehouses everywhere. Everywhere. Everywhere I go, they're building warehouses. They're building warehouses next to neighborhoods. And they're building neighborhoods next to warehouses. Everywhere. In all these houses. So eventually, and it's because there's so much money in real estate right now. And that was pretty much what 2008 was, it was people weren't saving money. They were spending money on luxury items, and then the housing collapse. The housing collapse was like you know, the last straw. That's what it was. What it was is people were buying these big houses. And what's crazy is they make the houses bigger now than what they did in 2008. So people are sitting there buying homes that they can't afford again. And I know I'm probably going to be called crazy if anybody actually listens to this. And if you made it this far, congratulations. But you know, I'm probably going to get a lot of stuff over this because it sounds crazy, right? Cause there's people out there doing good. But if you look at what's going on, and I traveled the country and everything, if you look around at what's going on, that's happening. It is 2008 all over again. And it was a big deal for me in 2008 because even though I was good, but like at the same time it was bad. Like, I was eating ramen during 2008 because like there just wasn't a lot of money coming in. I had just got into trucking. Like I didn't have a big savings at that time either. I wasn't prepared. I mean, I was still new in 2008 in trucking. some of y'all that are listening to this, and some of y'all that are in trucking now, weren't even, y'all were teenagers or younger at that time. Y'all might have been kids at that time. You know, there, there's a good possibility. What is that possible? Yeah, I guess it is possible that, you might have not even been born. But the thing is like, it's very similar, what's going on. That's the thing. It's very similar to what's going on, now as it is in 2008. And what, the haters out there or whatever, y'all can say what you want, but it's happening. But like I said, if it doesn't happen, it's because Trump is going to turn it around. A lot of the stuff that he's doing right now is hopefully going to prevent that. Take that however you want, because I don't want to get into too much politics, because the algorithms don't really like that and whatnot. But I definitely don't want to make this podcast thing about politics. And I will say this: I do vote Republican, right? But I don't agree with everything that Republicans do. So, like, I have an open view on things, even though I'm a Republican. But, so, I mean, this doesn't mean that I don't like you if you're a liberal. Doesn't mean I don't like you if you're a Democrat or anything but Republican. I'm not that type of person. I get along with people. I've got all kinds of different friends that have all kinds of different political views. So don't get me wrong on that. But I did vote for Trump all 3 times, and I did like what he did the first time he was in office, and we did really well in the Trump years at trucking. But one thing also is what's going to happen when we start getting busier. You're going to notice the opposite of what's going on right now. You're going to start, once you start hearing the news and politicians and trucking companies, start saying, oh, there's a truck driver shortage. Well, you might want to start looking at the stock market and start buying stocks at that point. Because anytime they go on there and say that there's a truck driver shortage, that's when truck drivers make money. So when you start hearing that, and you will hear it again at some point, I mean, we will get back to that. So, trucking will start doing good. That's when we do good in trucking, is when they say there's a truck driver shortage. Why? Because there's a need, and they pay us, and then there's pay raises, right? And I've been noticing that a lot of companies are forcing drivers out of whatever company they work for. It happens in the industry. You don't get paid unemployment in trucking, and if you have, that's crazy. I'd like to know why, because it's so easy, even in a freight recession, to get a trucking job. I don't recommend it right now. I don't recommend trying to find another job right now. But it's not hard if you're a good driver. So, if you start hearing that stuff, one thing you'll notice with the trucking companies is they're going to start paying bonuses again. That's probably something some of y'all haven't noticed, right? Like when you signed up and during COVID to be a truck driver, they were paying bonuses like $10,000, $20,000 for a bonus to be a truck driver. Well, when was the last time you've seen that? I haven't seen a company advertise that in the last 2 years, right? So when you start seeing bonuses come up, even if you start seeing $500, $1,000, bonus or whatever, that means we're starting to pick up, in the whole truck driver shortage thing is going to be blasted all over the news and with politicians and stuff. So, that'll be a telltale sign. So bonuses, truck driver shortage, that kind of thing. And it's all one thing. But don't worry. Just try to hang in there. We'll be okay. It'll come back. I don't want to see anybody that does this job or this career, I should say, because some people just look at trucking as a job, but it's really a career, in a lifestyle. And if you actually enjoy being a truck driver and you're set in stone, you're a truck driver for life, I don't want to see you leave the industry. I don't think anybody does. And if there's something that I can help with, don't be afraid to reach out, man. Like if anybody out there, needs help with anything, I'm always willing to help. I mean, I may not have all the answers in the world. The old saying is if you know everything, you need to hang up your keys, because at that point, you just need to get off the road. If you're a truck driver out there and you think you know it all, man, yeah, just go hang those keys up. Yeah, we don't need you. Now, I'm not one of those drivers. I know a lot of stuff, but the thing that I'm good at is I know a lot of people that know stuff that can, that I can go to help you out. I know I have resources. I know the resources. So just because I don't know something, or if I haven't done something, I could still probably help you out. So don't be afraid to reach out. If you're having an issue, you need some support or whatever, I'm happy to help. I don't want to see truck drivers leaving the industry. We need to stick together. We need to have that brotherhood back. And let me just say this again, okay? Anytime brotherhood, right? Or if I say stuff like that, I'm not just talking about us guys, right? It's everybody. Brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever. It is whatever you want to call it. But when I say brotherhood, it's all of us, okay? So you female drivers, the same thing. I'm with you too. I don't want to see y'all leave if y'all want to be here. I just hate seeing people on social media giving up, you know? And, besides what you may see me do or say or whatever, that's how I really feel. I don't want to actually see people leave. I joke around a lot, right? I do joke around a lot. That might be one of my flaws. I don't know. People seem to like it. I think that's one reason why people follow me, um, but, but in all seriousness, we don't need to lose drivers. Not good ones anyways. All right, so let's go on to the next subject. So, next big thing, that we've had a problem with, and a continuing problem with is truck parking, right? And I know, yeah, I haven't had anybody ask me. I'm really surprised, but I can almost promise you, I've had somebody, at least one person, but probably a lot more people unfollow me because I've been supporting truck parking club, right? And since I'm throwing that out there, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. If you need a parking spot and you can't find a spot, download the truck parking club app and use promo code all lowercase icebox20, and that will get you $20 on your parking spot. So if you have a spot that's $20 that's on there that you want to book, that's going to give you a free parking spot that night. So check that out. But I want to talk about why I signed up with them, right? So I like to travel when I'm on the road. I like to do things when I'm on the road, when I have the time and the money to go do stuff, right? Now I know, right? Just like y'all, some of y'all don't have that, either one of those. Everybody's different. Everybody has different reasons, but I like traveling. I like going and seeing places. That's one of the fun thing about this job. So, I work for a smaller company, not super small, but a smaller company. And, um, I needed a place, I wanted a place where I could drop my trailer because Flying J, TA and Petro, they won't let you drop your trailers anymore. They actually have signs up that tell you that you can't and that they will tow your trailer if you drop it. Okay. And then you also have the risk of it being stolen. One reason why I was actually happy when TA and Petro started doing the paid parking was they used to let you drop your trailers. And they would actually watch it for you. They had security that would watch it. And I don't know if anybody ever had a problem with that, but I never did. I still put a kingpin lock on my trailer, but I felt safe at the time. But they don't do that anymore. It's not allowed. They stopped doing it. I guess because guys were getting their stuff stolen. But, Truck Parking Club actually has facilities in a lot of places where they have secure parking lots. Some of them are at warehouses. Some of them are at, trucking facilities, and whatnot. Some of them are at other places that have security, that have, gates and locks and, stuff to keep your trailer safe while you go have fun. And that was one big thing that sold me on Truck Parking Club. And I actually used it, one weekend. I got stuck up in Nevada and, I used Truck Parking Club that weekend and I dropped my trailer and I went to the lake, and I even posted about it. I did a little live stream if you happen to be one of the ones that watched it, but, I went out there to the lake in Nevada and I went fishing and, just had a good time. I grilled out and I did it and I was able to, actually went to the state park too, by the way. But, to go fishing, it was like a state lake. It wasn't just like a pond. It was a big lake. And, I was able to do that because I could drop my trailer at the secure facility and I had that availability. And it wasn't even that much. I mean, I think I paid, like 15 or 20 bucks a night or whatever for 24 hours. And I ended up getting it for 3 days. I originally got it for like 2 days because I was just going to leave the trailer there while I went to the lake for those 2 days. But, I ended up liking it so much after I got unloaded. I didn't have a load till the next day. And I was like, you know what? I was like, this place is and it was a nice facility. And, so I ended up getting it and I stayed another night just to have the peace and quiet. It was so nice. It was almost like a little truckercation, or I don't know what you call it, truckation. I don't know. But, I don't know. Y'all can help me out with that in the comments, I guess. We'll figure out a name for it. Yeah, it was nice, and I paid that extra money for that extra night. And the ones that'll sit there, I've gotten some comments on this. The ones that'll sit there and say that they're going to get a hotel, instead of paying for Truck Parking Club. You can't get tell me what hotel you're going to get for $20. Okay. And not to mention, like, I do occasionally stay at hotels, but the pain in the butt on that is you have to get all your stuff out of the truck. I hate having to haul stuff into a hotel room. I like a fan, right? I have a fan that that I have in my truck. I got my games, my TV. Well, I mean, hotel rooms do come with TVs, but I have my video games. I've got, my own bed. You go to a hotel room and you get bed bugs and stuff, right? Like some people do. Thank God I've never had an issue with that. But I've heard stories about it. Even the nicer hotels even have them. So yeah, like I don't want to stay in a hotel all the time and take the chance on that. And not to mention, if you get a decent hotel, it's not going to cost you $20. It's going to cost you $120 at the minimum. Okay. So, like, this whole thing about just getting a hotel instead of truck parking club, like, is ridiculous. That's not a thing. Like, it's not, I mean, yeah, sure, if you want to spend the extra money, I mean, maybe, but $20 and I get to stay in my truck, which is where I like to stay, is a whole lot better than having to lug everything into a hotel room and stay in a hotel room. That costs more. So that's why Truck Parking Club says that they're the Airbnb of truck parking. That's exactly why it's a better experience. And if you have a bad experience with Truck Parking Club, right, you can talk to them. Like the owners and a lot of the people that are like high up with Truck Parking Club, um, they will talk to you. Reach out to them. You know, Mike Lombard, which I did the podcast with him on the Truck Parking Club channel. You can reach out to him too. He's on TikTok. He's on Paul's social media. I'm sure he'd like to talk, especially if you're a truck driver. He loves talking to everybody. So there's people you can reach out to. And I believe I've never had to use it, but I think they have a customer service number too. So like don't just don't like not use it, if you have a bad time. I mean I've gone places before and had a bad experience, but I don't blame the whole company for it, you know. But bring it up to them because if they don't know, they can't fix it. But my experience so far has been good with Truck Parking Club. I actually was after I used it, I was so happy with how it was and how great it was after I found out about it that I went to go reach out to them on social on TikTok, yeah, to hit them up to see if they would take me on so I could talk about them and stuff. And man, they already apparently reached out to me and I didn't even know it. So I was like, hell yeah. And I signed up right away with them. And it has been great, honestly. Like, I don't promote stuff that I don't like or that I don't do it for money, okay? I wanna put stuff out there that I support, that I use. It's the same thing with, my stuff with Amazon, which is going to be on my website, truckericebox.com at some point, where you can actually see, the stuff that I use in the truck on there. Um, I'm probably going to do some videos on it at some point. And I also have my TikTok shop if you're listening on TikTok. So, yeah, like I don't support just anything. I get offers from, uh, sponsors all the time, but I don't always take them. And I'm going to give a shout out to Belbro because, they're another one of my sponsors and they have a great product too. If you're ever going down the road and you kind of get that chafing from your belt buckle and stuff from sitting here driving for however many hours a day. And don't get me wrong. I know I'm fat, right? Like I'm a big boy and everything. It's not just a big boy problem. There's a lot of, skinny truck driver friends of mine that I have told about and bought them Bell Bros and they love it because they have the same problem. So I know it's not just a big boy issue. So, I had to give them a shout out because they're really cool. They were actually one of my first sponsors and they got a great product too. And like I said, um, you know, I'm not going to support something that I don't like or that I think that you won't like or that is just a crappy product. I don't do this stuff. I don't do this podcast to make money. I make money by driving a truck. I just like sharing my experience. I like sharing my travels. I like sharing my stories and meeting people. I've met a lot of people on, social media, doing this over the years that I probably would have never met, if I didn't do social media. I actually, just start talking about something else here. One reason why I got into social media was, because I had so many, truckers at the time. This is, back in like 2010. That's when, in 2010, that's when I first started my official, like truck driving page on Facebook. You can go on there if you go to my Trucker Icebox page on Facebook. You can actually see the date that it was created, and it was in 2010. I started doing videos on YouTube in, I want to say like 2012 or 2013, I think. And I started doing videos on there because, if I hadn't, like, videos were just becoming a thing back then because of camera phones and whatnot. And things were just kind of picking up. That was back in the day when Trucker Steve was a thing, if you know who he is. Um, but, uh, uh, but I started doing YouTube videos because, I wanted to promote Operation Roger, and I wanted to share the experiences that I had with transporting pets with Operation Roger on video. And I thought it was really cool. That's one reason why I love doing Operation Roger, is getting to see how happy the people are, how happy the pets are. It's a really cool experience. And if you like pets, whether you have one or not, like, we could definitely use some volunteers with Operation Roger. But, but yeah, so I started doing on there, and I don't have a big, like, honestly, in my opinion, I don't really have a big following at all. I mean, I think compared to like some people, there's some trucking content creators that are way up there, and I've just kind of always been casual on my content creation. I'm starting to do more, but I've always been kind of a casual creator. I just have fun with it. I post stuff that I think's funny on Facebook, or I'll make a video that's either, like something that'll help somebody or creative, or I just want to get something out there I want to say. But, but I'm starting to get a little bit more serious about it, but I have yet to this day to get very many followers on YouTube for whatever reason. Still, I'm still only at like 450 followers on YouTube. So I don't know if it's because YouTube hates me, because I've had some videos on YouTube go viral and I've gotten a lot of views on YouTube before, but, just can't anybody follow me on there. So, but anyways, um, but yeah, I guess, like with Facebook, I started having people that were, following me on my personal page. And I got on Facebook when Facebook first became a thing because, my family was on there, and it was a way for me to keep up with my family and my friends, and, the few friends. And, a lot of truck drivers were wanting to add me because it was kind of like a thing at that time. Because, like, being a trucking content creator, except for a very few individuals, was kind of a rare thing. And so, or not even a thing, not really even a thing. Um, but I had, so everybody was like, if you were a truck driver on Facebook and you seen that somebody was a truck driver, you were adding them. Well, at that time, it got a little overwhelming on my personal page because I just wanted to keep up with my family. Nothing against my trucking friends, but I decided to create a Facebook page just for my trucking content and, for my trucking friends. And that way my family could, keep up with my, you know, my personal stuff, and I can keep up with them, and, you know, have that social relationship with my family and friends, and then keep the trucking stuff separated. So that was one reason why I did it. But But I just did what I kind of still do. I just, I posted all my trucking stuff on my Trucker Icebox page, and it kind of grew from there. And I made a lot of trucking friends on there, and just like I have on TikTok. And I never got into the Instagram thing. Uh, I am on Instagram by mistake. But I don't really have a following on there either. I mean, I think like 83 people, but, uh, I don't know. I might start posting on there. I just never really messed with it. I just, just, I don't know. I don't know what's special about it, but a lot of people like it. It just didn't seem like much to me when I've been on it, but, I've had a lot of fun with TikTok though. It's been fun on Facebook, YouTube, and all that. I watch YouTube videos all the time. But uh, but yeah, so I just kind of grew from there since 2010. And, when TikTok came out, I was just like, oh God, not another social media app. And I think there's like thousands of social media apps now, and I am not on all of them. So, just FYI, uh, it's just pretty much Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. I tried Rumble, here recently. I posted a couple of videos, but, yeah, I didn't really like Rumble. It was not my thing. And, I've been on Snapchat before. I thought about getting back on there. I don't know. I'd have to find my login information, but I have been on Snapchat before. But I'm not currently. But, and I've never done Twitter really, but well, I say Twitter, it's now X or whatever. But, I might get on there at some point again too. I do have an X account, I think, unless they changed something when it switched from Twitter. 'Cause it used to be I haven't been on there since they changed the name, so I don't know what's going on with it. But yeah, it didn't really do much with that either. But, yeah, so it just kind of grew. When TikTok came out, uh, I had some family and friends that were kind of encouraging me. They're like, "Oh yeah, TikTok's fun. You should try it." And shout out to Dave and to Hannah, for that, by the way, because if y'all wouldn't have talked me into it, I probably wouldn't be where I am on TikTok. So thank you. And, yeah, so I got on and I just started posting stuff. My very first video, if you, um, dare to try to scroll through, I don't even know how many videos I made. There's been times where I posted 30 videos in a day. I don't do that quite that much anymore, but you can, if you want to scroll, you can scroll all the way down, uh, to my first video. And that first video was the very first video I started with. So all my videos are on there from the beginning. And I really didn't know what to do with TikTok at first. It was new to me, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. The duet thing was fun. I did a couple of those. That was like some of my bigger, videos at the beginning. I was happy as hell when I hit 100 views. Um, it was fun, and, it's kind of just grown from there. And I've had a website before, and, I just recently got that going again. And, I've had merchandise in the past. I'm working on getting that going again. And, just kind of growing things and whatnot, but it's a process. It's a lot of work. I've had people ask me, you know, like how to grow their channels. And I've told them, I'm like, well, okay, well, like, what's your niche? Like, what do you do? And I get different comments, from the people that want advice, but, I pretty much, I tell them, I'm like, look, you gotta find stuff that people want to watch. Or you have to do it like me because I have fun. If and it's hard. I don't know if I'm sure there's people that do it to have fun. I do it for fun. And people just happen to follow me. And I appreciate it too, by the way. And so like if you're wanting to grow a channel, then you better, if you want to be like a professional, well then you need to have some stuff that people are going to watch every day. But I wouldn't tell people to do it for the money. If you're doing it for the money, you need to get to the point to where you're hitting 1 million views a day because that's what it would take to make it worth it. But, but I've never done it for that reason, so I don't know. But I just say post something interesting that people want to watch. It'll have to catch people's attention. And at some point you'll have people that will follow you because they like what you do and go from there. I mean, honestly, even if even if you are doing it for the money, still have fun with it. Because if you're having fun, people will catch on to that and people will watch you. No, I know. I'm talking like somebody that's got 1 million followers, but I do have people ask me that, but I may not be the best one for that advice. But anyways, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. I definitely don't need to do an outro because I think the last half of this podcast was pretty much me talking about my social media stuff. But I will definitely be doing more in the future. I'm gonna do different topics and different things that go on in the industry. I'm gonna probably have story time, maybe talk about different things that have happened to me on the road over the years. Stuff that I'm probably gonna put in my book that I'm working on writing. And for those of you that do know about the book and have known about it, because I've been talking about it for years now, yes, I am actually working on it, as we speak. It's just in little spurts here and there right now, but, and I'm still going back and forth on what I want to call it. It will be called Icebox, but if you know about it, then I haven't figured out the second part I was going to put on there yet. Because it's actually going to be a series. It's going to be interesting. But, if you don't know about it, definitely stick around. And, you will know about it because it is coming. And, why am I writing a book? Not because I'm famous, but because I just want to tell my story and my experiences on the road. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here with you right now. We're, to have a good time, have fun, share my experiences, and hopefully help somebody along the way. And with that, I say God bless. You stay safe on the road, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right. Thank you.